You are, traditionally known as an observability player. We have also discussed, there's the line blurs so much, when you solve a problem. So where is this incident response product coming from? Tell us about the evolution of the company, with ServiceNow now.
Yeah, it's a great question. So Lightstep, from an observability standpoint, has always believed that there are really three layers to the solution. There's the telemetry itself, where, as you mentioned, we've spent a lot of time and effort getting OpenTelemetry to where it is, as I think the kind of de facto open source telemetry solution. There's a storage layer, which I'm not going to talk about today because it's off topic. But then the top layer, which is where the value is actually delivered, is workflow. From an observability pure play standpoint, workflow has been quite fragmented for most of our kind of what I would consider to be like legacy observability players, where you have separate SKUs and tabs for infrastructure monitoring and APM and logging and things like that. So we've been trying to address that standalone. But when we talk with our customers, the two things they're really trying to accomplish are increasing their velocity and increasing their uptime. And increasing uptime is basically a matter of incident response and minimizing MTTR. And the idea that the right solution for minimizing downtime would be to have two separate products, one for observability and actually two separate vendors even for observability and incident response. It just doesn't make that much sense. Like the most obvious thing we could do is to integrate those into one platform and offering under our brand. Of course, we're not going to require that customers do that, but I think customers actually want that. They want it to be a seamless experience where you don't lose context. And that's what this is all about. RJ, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about your take on incident response and the opportunity there?
Yeah, no, thanks, man. That's exactly right, in the sense that while observability is the side that sort of kind of provides insights when things are not working or there's sort of unplanned changes, the response, the reaction side of it is really from what incident response brings in. So I sort of use the analogy of peanut butter and jam.
When we look at Lightstep, what kind of company are we looking at today?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I probably won't get into talking about specific product announcements and things like that, but directionally, I think that what we see. I mentioned this actually in the beginning of this conversation, that when we talk about the workflow level of what our end users are struggling with right now, there's a ton of fragmentation. The incident response piece is probably the most glaring and obvious piece of that, but there are many other aspects where workflows that go in and out of the observability use cases that we started with are quite fragmented. And I think our goal is to try and, obviously talking with customers, but to take on the workflows we feel we can do something, it's not just unifying a bill, right? It's actually unifying workflows and reducing context switching. That's what we're really trying to accomplish. And since you mentioned the ServiceNow piece, I will also say that ServiceNow has, there's some adjacent messaging with ServiceNow, but it's a totally non-competitive thing with ServiceNow, which is, frankly, if it wasn't the case, I wouldn't have done the acquisition. And there's a lot of multiplicative benefits. With ServiceNow being so strong across many different employee-facing workflows, what we can do with Lightstep is to see inside these customer-facing applications and pull out insights about everything from customer behavior to cost to security to basic IT operations. All that stuff really enhances the ServiceNow offering as well. So it's not always that there's like a new SKU or a new product. A lot of it is like significant differentiated enhancements in these other products that are actually affecting very different employees well outside of the development sphere. So that's another area where I think there's a lot of opportunity to deliver something that's pretty unified and valuable. And the whole point in some ways is that we wouldn't be necessarily releasing a new product. I think it's more that we're enhancing and delivering value that couldn't be done otherwise through just a plain partnership.
How does Lightstep fit into your broader vision? How does that come in further complements whatever you have to offer? Because as we were talking about earlier, in the end, it all matters how we are serving our customers and users.
And that's exactly right. And so from that perspective, a lot of what Ben said, just to add to that, so we do see the benefit of extending observability into the enterprise into not just the kind of IT operations, but the other use cases that are out there. And fundamentally, ServiceNow is a kind of core competency is workflows, right? And so from that perspective, we can envision a number of different kind of workflow based solutions that can harness kind of the insights that observability brings, and then serve our customers. I'm very interested in sort of the SRE domain, and how we can continue to make the kind of the life of the SRE better. These are folks who work under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. There's a lot of chaos and fatigue, and so anything we can do to service and make improve their state is a win.